Okay, today we're going to talk about the 4 secrets about objections. And the first secret is the biggest and the one that I see more people get tripped up on than anything else. And secret number one is you're the creator of every objection and must take full responsibility for the customer's objection. You've got to be very, very careful and conscientious that you're not projecting on your clients the objections that you would have. If you can't make sense of what you're presenting, then I don't know how, then you can't expect your client to make sense of it. If you think it's too expensive, they'll think it's too expensive. If there's any reason why you don't think they should do it, you'll project those same objections. And by the way, I'd have you ask yourself, if you have objections to it, then are you really going back and presenting the best possible solution or plan if you don't actually believe in what it is that you're about to present? Okay, so you've got to be very, very careful. Again, if we're talking about insurance and you're asking for an annual check, and you're looking and saying they're going to have to cut me a check for $5,700, and you just couldn't fathom cutting that check, guess what? You're going to project onto your client the same thing. But if you move forward with confidence and you're assertive and you help them, you lead, guide, and direct them, you'll find that as you do that, people will move forward through the process. So be very, very careful that any objection that is coming through as you're presenting, there's a good chance that objection is being created by you. So one of the biggest things that you'll want to understand moving forward. The second thing is the most dangerous objection is the unspoken. You see, what happens a lot of times is most people will just fire off what we call smoke screens, things that we think are the objection, and they're not. They're just things that they're throwing out. But the most dangerous objection is the unspoken, the one that the client isn't telling you. And that's where really asking questions and digging down, and more important, listening. You've got to get that unspoken objection out. Otherwise, they'll keep stalling you and stalling you and stalling you with what you think are the objections, and you'll keep trying to overcome them, and you'll never move the actual process forward because you haven't gotten to the unspoken objection. And I would tell you the key here is asking some great questions and then, shutting up. That is the hardest thing for salespeople to do, is when you ask a question, let the client speak first. They will. Okay, so you've got to get to that unspoken objection. The third thing is going right along with that is that most objections are complaints that should not be handled but used as a reason to close. This is just more than I was wanting to spend, right? You go back and you run an insurance quote for somebody. This is more than I was wanting to spend. Or 2.2% management fee. I don't know. I'm paying 0.14% at Vanguard. You see, what we initially want to do is we initially want to jump on that like it's an objection. It's just a complaint a lot of times. Hey, I agree that 2.2% is more than 0.14%. And then just move forward and go for the close. Right? That's all you're going to do. Hey, I agree. The first thing you always want to do is agree. Hey, I agree that 2.2% is more than 0.14%. I'm just going to need you to initial here and here and here, and we can go ahead and I can start getting this 401k managed for you. You see, we back up and pull back in the sales process like a complaint is an actual objection. Sometimes people just need to get it out. Matter of fact, most things that people say are complaints rather than objections. Okay, again, this is just more than I was thinking about spending on insurance. I said, yeah, I know, you just want to agree. Hey, this is more than I was thinking about spending on insurance. Yeah, I know this was more than you were thinking about spending on insurance. I'll just need to schedule your medical exam, and then I need you to authorize here, here, and here, and we'll go ahead and move forward and get this put in place so that this isn't something you have to keep thinking about and giving energy to. Okay? Something that's simple, but you've got to move forward with, being precise and direct. Okay? So most people are just going to give you complaints that aren't actual objections. So there's some kind of examples to that. Number 4, objections are never a reason not to close or to stop working your deal. Sometimes we hit what we think's a wall, and we let that crumble the entire process. It allows us, to create all of these things that go through our head that the client isn't going to do business, and I don't know how I could possibly overcome this. One of those is, I've had an advisor for 15 years, and he's a good family friend, and immediately that causes us to say, well, I'm probably not going to get the business. I mean, he's had this family friend for a long time. I know I've been guilty of that. They've had this family friend for a long time. He's happy with them. There's no reason he'd want to change. And we use that as a reason to axe the deal. And we stop going through our process and identifying what it is that we can help them with, and again, showing the value and asking questions. So an objection is never the reason to stop. Okay, it's not a reason to not close. It's not a reason to not ask for the business. Okay, it's none of those things. So these are four huge things that, as you'll take the time to kind of understand them as a part of your process, I know they will be a big deal in your success moving forward. So let us know what we can do to help, and look forward to, these are the things that you have to do every single day. Spend some time going through sales training like this and identifying what's going on in your process, maybe what's been holding up some of your deals, and moving some of those things out of the way so that the process can flow free again. And I know as you look through probably at some of the deals, go through, I'd encourage you, look at the last 30 days or 60 days and identify some sales that are probably still in process that you haven't closed. See if you can identify which of these four things is holding that process up. And then go through and master what it's going to take to move that through. Or go through and look at the last 60 days, deals that you lost, and let's figure out how to use some of these secrets that you've just learned to maybe go back and recover some of those lost opportunities. So anyways, hope this was helpful to you. Let us know what we can do.